Oh, hi everybody. Today I'm just talking to you about garbling. Okay, so it's quite hot here in WA. I'm inside and I'm sweating. With garbling, garbling is nothing fancy. It's just another term that us herbalists, so to speak, use to separate the part that we want to use from a herb and before we turn it into medicine. So I've got mugwort here. I'll just show you a big piece. I've got a big piece like this that I cut from my property. And another thing about mugwort too is it can become very invasive. Okay, so you need to be careful when you're planting it, where you're planting it, because if it's happy, it will ramble. Like very much like mint does. You know how mint just takes off? Well, the same with mugwort. I've got mugwort from one side of my property, 50 meters away, I've got it coming up again. And it's very, very hardy. There's a summer, I think it was last summer, I didn't water up on my block. It just got too much and this never died. It came back. So just be very wary when you do, if you do want to grow mugwort, that it will become very invasive. But in saying that, it's a damn good herb. So garbling, back to garbling. What we do is, well, there's the stem. I'm not going to use the whole stem. I'm just going to use the leaf part. So I'm taking all this off here. That's garbling. That's part of garbling, I should say. It's getting the herb ready to be put into medicine. Now, what you have to also make sure is you've got no bugs. This is where you look for bugs on your plant. This is where you look for any other plants that are intertwining in your herb that you don't want to put into your tea or your tincture or whatever you're going to use the mugwort for. It's very important because you might have a mugwort growing next to a plant that's not medicinal or that you can't ingest. You don't want to pick your mugwort, get it all ready, and then ingest it and be in trouble. Okay, so be very careful at what parts that you use with regards to any medicine or any herbs that you do pull out of the ground. What I wanted to show as well, some of these mugwort, it's got branches. So this one here, so it's got a branch out here. What I would do is I would even take that down further and get all the leaves off it, because you don't want to have too much sticks in your mugwort, especially if you're going to dry it before you use it, because it could interfere with the drying process, and if you don't get them all out and they don't dry properly, they could mold. Okay, so that's part of your garbling. Now the next thing we have to do is you need to chop it up, and this is also if you've got any leaves, any branches in with your herb as well. It might interfere with you chopping it up. Mugwort is so good for you, so good for you. It's good with menstrual pains. What else? Upset tummy, detoxing the body, and you can see it's a good detoxer because of the doctrine of signatures is one of a better saying for them, is because when you're detoxing your body, you're detoxing your whole system. Well, mugwort goes along the ground and comes up suckers everywhere. So you can see that it would go through your whole body system just by the way it grows. And that's another good way of looking at herbs when they grow too, is how they grow. These secateurs are not very good, not very sharp. You can use scissors. Sometimes I use scissors depending on the plant material that I'm trying to cut up. But you get the idea of what garbling is. Okay, so it's cutting everything up to a fine mark is what we call it, just plant material. Because when you add your solvent, your menstruum in there, you don't want to have big bits of herb. If you're going to make a tincture, you want to have it the smallest you possibly can. Some herbs you can even powder, because you want the whole menstruum to actually get into every single part of the herb. Okay, so that's garbling. Now, I'm going to do a write-up on mugwort next month, because I think it's a fascinating herb. And some people call it a psychoactive herb as well. They use it to get a little bit merry. I haven't used it, so I don't intend to either. But another thing with mugwort is that it's good to promote vivid dreams. And if you want to keep your dreams in the morning, if you've dreamt about something and you want to keep it in the morning, mix it with a bit of rosemary, dried, put it in a herb pillow and stick it under your pillow. And that way you'll remember your dreams in the morning, in theory. I do have a lot of Dream Pillow herb packs on my webpage. If you want to go, I'll put the link in if you want to go and have a look at that. You just make up your own herb pillows, or you can buy herb pillows through a workshop that I've made as well. And also I have dried mullein that you can buy if you haven't got any growing and you want to have it as a tea as well. I've got them on my webpage, so I'll put the link there as well. All right, so that's it, and then you just add what you need to, and that's garbling. Nothing spectacular. On one more thing, when you do garbling, this is a really good way, and this is what I do, is when I'm cutting them all up and getting them ready for my medicine, I actually sit there and I sit with the plant. You know, I get the vibe out of the plant, etc., and I try to connect in with the spirit of the plant, which I think is very important. And the best way to do that is through garbling. Was what we're doing now, because you're spending so much time cleaning the herb up. You may as well talk to it. I talk to my plants all the time. Have a chat sometimes. I'm sitting with Mother Ward at the moment and having a good old bitch with her. So just speak to them, because they are living, and you're ingesting them for medicine. So why not say to them, okay, well, this is what I want you to do to me, and they will do. All right. Happy garbling. See ya.